Club, introduce you to the game. I'm very happy to bring you here, and I hope you'll give a nice warm welcome to Bill Powell of the Northern Virginia Backgammon Club. Thank you, Michael. You got those yield up just from my Okay.
Good afternoon. One of the things I do as a part-time job, which my son can testify to because he does it too, is we're some of the folks that walk around in some of these games selling water, soda, beer, and so on. Yesterday there was a 3 lacrosse games at M&T Bank up in Baltimore, and I worked all 3 of them, so I think I left my voice up there. If somebody finds it and they let me return it to them, I'd be very appreciative. That's why I got this mic today, so I can talk in a whisper, and you can still hear. How about that? Okay. As Michael indicated, this game is originated in Persia. Some people do believe it was in actually India, but for purposes of today, it's definitely Persia. If we ever give a talk at the Indian Embassy, then it's India. I would appreciate it if during this talk you're not rattling dice and playing the game, although I will give some instruction as to how you should move some of the checkers if your board is set up the way it was when you started. Anyway, one of the most interesting things about this game, I think, is the fact that even though it's 5,000 years old, the doubling cube has only been like less than 100 years. I believe it was in the 1920s in New York City where somebody decided to introduce the doubling cube. That's that funny thing that I just got the numbers 2, 4, 8, so on. That's not, you don't roll that. It's on a dice, that is a cube. It's used to change the stakes of the game if you're playing for money, for example. Which we're not doing that here today, so it really doesn't serve any purpose. I will also talk about how it is used in match play later on as part of this lecture near the end. There has been very limited TV exposure and movies. I do recall seeing an episode of Columbo where they showed people playing backgammon for about 10 seconds. And I also saw a backgammon set once on the Seinfeld episode. They were not playing, it was just simply sitting there on a coffee table. And in the movie Octopussy, Roger Moore's James Bond character does play a game of backgammon against a foe. And there's something about that I need to correct. In that movie, James Bond says that when it comes down to his last roll of the game, he'll take the option of using his opponent's dice to roll his last roll. And that's really not part of backgammon. You use your dice, your opponent uses their dice. You cannot take your opponent's dice and use them. However, what might be true is that you just share one set of dice the whole game, which in that case, yeah, you use the same dice as your opponent. It's not because you use their dice instead of yours. Okay? That's very important. On the internet, you can play at a number of sites. There's Yahoo, there's Pogo, there's GamesGrid, there's, I don't know, there's dozens and dozens. I don't bother to do that myself anymore because I get ample opportunity to play face-to-face, which is my favorite way to play. In fact, I play it so much that sometimes I get in the doghouse, and then I'm not even allowed to play for a while. So I have to sort of curb that a little bit. There's some excellent PC software out there you can get to download it to your computer. It can show you how to play backgammon. It can tell you who you're making wrong moves. It can tell you what the best plays are. It can even tell you how much better this play is than that play. And we call these things collectively bots, short for robots. Some of them are snowy, new, and extreme gammon. I think jellyfish is the very first one out in the market. I don't even know if it's still available, but even if it is, you don't want it. Extreme gammon is by far the cheapest. And I think it's also the best. So it's also the latest and greatest. And, you know, just like anything else, you know, when PCs first came out, you could buy one for like $5,000, which today you can buy one for $500. that's better than the $5,000 one 30 years ago. So it's kind of like that, I suppose. Anyway, extreme gambling is the thing to get. I haven't got it myself yet, but I think I'm going to. Not that I'm trying to endorse it, but I do know that if you do buy it, there's a gentleman who will give you a free lesson on how to use it. And yes, part of that is because he gets a kickback on it. I don't know how much, maybe $10, but believe me, it's well worth it. You pay the $50 to get the lesson. It's worth much more than that. There are a number of clubs in the area. My own club I'll mention first. I'm the director of the Northern Virginia Backgammon Club. Our website will give you right now. It is novabackgammon.tripod.com. I'll spell that out for you. NOVABACKGAMMON.tripod.com. At the end of the lecture, by the way, you can come up and I'll show you this list and you can write them all down for yourself. Also, the Beltway Backgammon Club has been in operation for about 25 years or so. It's now directed by Gary Silverman, who's in the audience today, over there in the blue shirt. His tournaments and my tournaments are very similar. In one sense, his are better because they're longer matches. So if you like longer matches, then his is better. And because if you like shorter matches, I guess mine is better. We both run the same way, it's the same type of feel. You play a match against somebody. If you win, you move in the winners bracket, play against someone else that won. If you lose once, you move down the consolation bracket. Then you play a somewhat shorter match. And you keep playing in that division until you lose. Then you're knocked out of the tournament altogether. Eventually, there'll be two people undefeated who will play for the championship. And we do give out prize money. Now, the prize money comes from the fact that people who play the tournaments have to pay a fee to get in. Believe me, Gary and I are not just going to take money out of our pockets and give it to people. We collect it from people who are playing the game, and then we redistribute it back. It all comes back in prize money, though. Gary and I do not take a rake. We do this just for the love of backgammon because we love backgammon, and we have nothing better to do on a Sunday afternoon or a Monday night. Usually. Okay, so his website is www.beltwaybg.org. I'd also like to mention the Baltimore Backgammon Club, not quite as local, but some of you folks maybe came from up that way today, so for you maybe it's more local. That website, www.baltimorebackgammonclub.com. A great source of information, by the way, is the Chicago Point Backgammon Club, whose website is www.chicagopoint.com. Again, you can get all of these from me at the end, and I'll have this flyer up here. You can just take a look at it. There are backgammon tournaments all over the country. They play in Pittsburgh, Chicago, New York, Las Vegas, Monte Carlo. To go to any one of these tournaments, you can expect to shell out a few $100 at least, maybe $1,000, depending on what division you play in. But there's big prize money to be won. One of the members of my club recently went to the Pittsburgh tournament. He played in the top division. I believe it cost only $200 to participate in that division. He came in first place. He won 19. No, sorry. That was Vegas. He won about 5,000. Out in Las Vegas, he did something similar a few years ago. Again, he received something like 200. This time there was many more players involved. And the top prize there was like $19,000, which is an outstanding amount of money. Yeah, that's about how much I make in half a year. So that's pretty good for a few days of playing backgammon, I must say. If you win Monte Carlo, and I had a friend that did that, that's worth almost $100,000. $100,000. Yes. For me, that's better than 2 years' salary. So, no, I haven't tried my hand at Monte Carlo yet. Maybe someday. Maybe I get someone to sponsor.